conversation about our cinema truly emerging as a soft power. In the words of the Honorable Prime Minister, he did say that we ourselves haven't understood the impact of the soft power of our cinema and how we impact the global footprint in the world of media and entertainment. Recently, well, if I begin with the impact that our films have had in the recent past, with the global success of RRR, with the fact that we won the big honor at Cannes with All We Imagine Is Light, with an official selection film this year at Cannes with Homebound, we know that our cinema is traveling, and not just traveling to our diaspora, but beyond, and getting recognition across countries, on global platforms, and even being honored on global stages. Today I'm in conversation with two icons. One who celebrates 25 years in the movie business. Kareena Kapoor Khan, ladies and gentlemen. What do I say? What do I say about her that you haven't known, loved, and respected her for? Her origin began with the film Refugee, and then she took giant strides, not only as a movie star, but truly as an artist. After 25 years, she truly is a cultural icon. Anywhere in the world, you know that brand Kareena Kapoor Khan resonates not just with beauty and charm and grace, but with an artist of pure excellence. Kareena, it is such a pleasure to be in conversation with you.
Thank you, and namaskar everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the Waves Summit. It's, I think, one of the largest platforms where the greatest of minds are coming onto the stage and talking about how we can better our stories, how we can take our stories global. I think Indian stories are, one industry that has the largest amount of stories. We have some great stories that have been told, which are still being told. And I think it's just getting larger and larger. And I think with the support of the government and the I&B ministry and our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, I think India today stands as one of the biggest superpowers today, and I'm absolutely honored to be here to be talking about our Indian film industry and our Indian movies, especially with my dear friend Karan Johar.
And introducing to you a dynamic movie star. With each and every performance, he has imprinted his absolutely specific stamp of artistry in all his films. From his very breakthrough film, beyond his first, where of course he was loved and adored, but his breakthrough film Arjun Reddy, that went on to be a template, even the mainstream, even in Hindi cinema. It was remade as a blockbuster, Kabir Singh, but that character, portrayed by Vijay as Arjun Reddy, went on to become iconic and almost like emulated across so many mainstream movies, with mainstream artists and actors trying to kind of bring that same syntax to the fore. With his successes like Geeta Govindam and several others, that he has not only proved his superstardom in Telugu cinema, but also come through as a true excellent movie star artist. And artists are meant to balance both commercial expertise as well as true artistry. And Vijay Deverakonda has done that with absolute panache and with extreme finesse. Vijay, welcome to our panel. And today we're going to discuss your work, your incredible work, but also about how our cinema truly is a soft power and how we've taken giant strides even globally. Vijay, over to you.
Thank you so much, Karan. I'm really happy to be here. This is too serious and formal for me, so I'm a little intimidated by the setup, but excited to speak to you all and share the stage with such amazing people. Thank you.
No, but don't worry. We only start serious. And then after that, once Kareena Kapoor starts talking, the seriousness takes a little bit of a
Is it me or is it Karan Johar? I think everybody knows.
Well, I want to say, we'll start with, we're talking about global, but a very famous line that went kind of viral when Kareena said, "Ke sare bus pakad ke ja rahe hain Hollywood." These are your words, not mine.
मैं तो यहीं पे हूँ. I'm very happy with my Indian movies and acting in them. बड़ा मजा आता है. हमारी हिंदी फिल्म गाने पे डांस करना. बड़ा मजा आता है. हिंदी डायलॉग्स बोलना. भटिंडा की सिखनी हूँ भाई. बार बार बोलना अच्छा लगता है. तो I feel that I'm, you know.
और आपने तो कह भी दिया कि आप अपनी फेवरेट हो, तो why not?
I feel that line बहुत ही important है. It's very important because I think हर लड़की, हर औरत को should always say this line, कि मैं अपनी favorite हूँ boss.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing.
Yeah, only way to be. No, but so back to what I was trying to really say. Of course, you said that very famous line, but it is also true that lots of these actors that are not just representing international brands, but so many actors, not just the mainstream movie stars, but artists that are doing some incredible work and our cinema being recognized. Now, when you walk on a red carpet internationally, go for an event, it's not just the diaspora that knows you. There are countries beyond, the Asian countries that our films release in that are recognizing your work and acknowledging you. What has been your experience, or rather share one experience you've had where, like I know you've attended the Red Sea Festival recently, where you've had people who are not from Asia and have not consumed a lot of our work, don't have come from our culture, but are truly acknowledging the work we do. Have you had an experience that you'd like to share with us?
I think the global impact that films have is absolutely insane, because I have seen not just, of course, in the recent films, but this has happened to me in 2023 when I was in a taxi. I was in London, and he was a local, and he started singing my grandfather's song to me. Yeah. Because he had watched all of Raj Kapoor's films. Yeah. And he was like, I have seen his films and I can't believe that you are sitting here. And he actually sung in Hindi language. He sung Mera Joota Hai Japani. Wow. So I think for me that was a really great moment of pride, because he also sang it so clearly in our Hindi bhasha that I felt that look at the impact, look at what is happening. And he actually, he made me realize that the kind of love that we as a nation, our films are getting, and the way they're still watching it. I think Dadaji's film was quite old. It made it in the 60s, 50s.
Well, actually your grandfather, your illustrious grandfather, Raj Kapoorji, actually, I think was one of the pioneers of creating that global footprint. I believe Russia, there was a premiere he had in Russia, and beyond that, even in Japan and everywhere else, people know his songs, they know his movies. And I think he, in many ways, began this journey.
He began journey, and I think cultural relations started with that because of the impact on the films that they were watching. And the best part is, I think today also people are watching our films. Earlier, they would be dubbed in different languages, like maybe German, French, whatever. But today they are enjoying actually watching the original Hindi language movies. And that is something which I really love and I feel great about.
Vijay, we talk so much about crossover, about our cinema crossing over. But don't you believe that the true, really mammoth crossover that's happened is the integration, the beautiful amalgamation of the South cinema coming into the North and vice versa? That has been the most majestic crossover. I think beginning from Bahubali in 2013, the fact that Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema, Malayalam cinema, Kannada cinema is now being watched, viewed, whether on streaming services or in cinema halls, all of North India consuming South Indian content, admiring it, applauding it, accepting it, and doing the numbers has been truly the biggest crossover. Don't you agree?
I think cinema, when we talk about cinema, is a soft power. That is one thing it does. It makes us aware of other people, how they live, their cultures. I don't think 10 years ago we would have all met and had chats like this and shared panels. Now we share such a close relationship with actors, producers, directors from Bombay and actors from Hyderabad and further down south in Chennai. We all know each other so much more closely. I think the audience now, these days when I go to Kashmir, when I was shooting there, when I'm shooting in Mussoorie, everywhere people know of you, and the only reason they know of you and about the South, for example, is because of cinema and no other reason. Now it's about how do we make the world know us more, be sensitive to us more, love our culture more, love our food more, love our songs more. How we did this is by increasing distribution. You in a way increased South's distribution to Hindi by helping Bahubali, and that opened doors. Now how do we set up something that increases distribution of Indian cinema to Europe and to the West and around the world, so they know more and more about us? Because growing up, I feel I knew more about the USA. I could tell you 10 cities from America. I can't tell you one city other than Dhaka from Bangladesh. Why do I know so much about the US even though none of my family has ever been there was because of cinema. You've seen so much of Hollywood cinema that you felt like you knew them, you knew more about them and you wanted to go there. And when I went to America, I realized that they didn't know much about, I had to tell them they knew India, but they know Bombay, Delhi, and I'm like, I'm from the south. It's a part called Hyderabad. And I realized, I always wondered, are they ignorant? Why do I know more about them than they know about me? And I realized that it was their cinema. I've been watching it since childhood, and they haven't watched it as much of it. So I think if we increase the penetration of cinema, it's the easiest, it's the biggest advertisement for a country, its culture and its people. It's the biggest marketing tool. So you attract them to your culture and your customs and your country through cinema. So increasing distribution will play a big role.
And I think today, in fact, in one of the early morning sessions, Dinesh Vijan said a very a line that truly resonated, where he said, content is king, but distribution is God. And I think that truly resonates with what you're trying to say, that, you know, distributing our films, getting them to the right areas of the world, will make all the global impact for our cinema. What's also interesting is creative authenticity. Now, I think what happened with RRR was very exciting, ladies and gentlemen, because RRR was not a quintessential art house festival-friendly film. It was bang for buck mainstream, massive spectacle film, is released across the world and is noticed by the non-American, non-Asian audiences, gets nominated for the Academy Awards, wins an Academy Award. Now that is truly a massive sign for not just the art house film or the film that is the mid-size or the small size, the festival-friendly film, but even the mainstream can now percolate deeply. And I think that RRR truly did that for us. It opened a door. What we do with that open door is now on us. I do believe, Vijay, you come from cinema that is truly majestic, and there is of course a separate debate: is the South cinema superior to the cinema made in Hindi? And I think that divides us. I believe that divides us. I think if we truly have to believe we are Indian cinema. We're not South, we're not North, we're all Indian cinema. We collectively are making cinema what it is. I think that's most important, that we don't divide. And I always say this, and I request the Indian media, that when you ask these questions, you are dividing us. You know, and when you divide us, then you break us. And one thing we know about India is that we cannot be broken. We stand tall when we are together. And it speaks about the same thing in cinema. Do you get that kind of, like South-North debate? Do you have to deal with those questions a lot?
I think because it was recent that India found South cinema and started celebrating it on a national level. So I think it's good TRP, good conversation, good headlines, something stimulating to talk about, but it's not the most productive thing for cinema. If we have to take on the giants of the world, we need to unite, we need to collaborate. And the biggest cinema, like now, like a Shah Rukh sir film, his last biggest hit, what did it do? Some 800,000, I don't know the number, but 1,000 crore. And Allu Arjun, Anna's film, did 1,000 crore. Now imagine they collaborate. When you bring a star from the south, star from the north, when you bring two stars from India, you just unite the country. And I think if we have to grow, the only ambition and desire and our nature, in human nature, it is to grow, and we want to grow and take up more space and get more eyeballs. The only way forward is collaborations. And I think the West is already doing it, and they will start collaborating with the actors. They are already a lot of collaborations.
Well, war is happening with Junior NTR and Hrithik Roshan, and that is huge. A massive film releasing on the 15th of August, and I think it's going to explode at the box office. Not just a branding or a sequel, but look at that star power. I mean, it's massive. Kiara Advani, Hrithik Roshan, Junior NTR, huge. So I think that what you're talking about, the collaboration is already happening with a film like War, and many more to follow. Kareena, your films from the very beginning of your career, of course, have appeased to the diaspora. Your films have done so well internationally, and all of them have really resonated deeply with the diaspora audiences. And so that makes you, in a sense, a global movie star. But I've known you never to chase or have an agency in Hollywood represent you there. You even did a film in the English language, but it was very much for the markets here when you did Buckingham Murders. But I've never known you to desire that and chase that. It's almost like it's not that you have an aversion, but you haven't chased it. Is there a reason why you haven't, or it just didn't organically happen?
I don't know. I think that it's just maybe organically also never happened. And like I said, that films are a passion to me. I always say, to mere ragon mein daud raha hai, films. I've been born into this family. I know times are changing, and maybe, of course, like, Vijay just said, collaborating is what is the next step, forward. So, I mean, I never say never, but chasing something is something that is not, as you know, part of my personality. And if it has to happen, maybe a Hindi-English film will happen. You never know, because like I said, that even Steven Spielberg is watching our Hindi movies today, so you never know.
Yeah. No, I mean,
might happen.
Like, as I said recently, it was such a huge honor for us to have Martin Scorsese be an executive producer on a film that we have produced, called Homebound, directed by Neeraj Khewan. And the fact that he had bona fide notes, contribution to a Hindi language film, it was such a huge honor to hear his inputs, that came in. And you just know that it is that one moment where you feel like cinema has truly come together.
I was actually in a restaurant when I was traveling somewhere, and Steven Spielberg was eating in the same restaurant. This was many moons ago, obviously, when Three Idiots had just released. He actually came up to me and told me that, are you the girl who's in that very famous Indian film about the three students? I said, yes, that's me. He said, my God, I love that movie.
Wow.
So, I mean, I didn't have to act in an English film for him to see it. He's watched Three Idiots. So that is, I think, a moment for us,
Yeah. And Vijay, you've traveled the world with your cinema. And, I know when Arjun Reddy released, it not only was a new syntax for Telugu cinema. I remember it being called a cult film because Telugu cinema hadn't seen a film with that kind of syntax. That film not only deeply penetrated through the mass pockets of your core territory, it also was watched by everyone across the country on streaming platforms, which then have gone remade and became bigger with Kabir Singh. But pure Arjun Reddy lovers, I have been told, are also not just Indians. They're watching them across the world. Have you had those experiences of people coming and speaking to you about your film who are not from your country and far removed from our culture?
No.
Never? Well, I have actually met people from Japan who have seen Arjun Reddy.
Oh, sweet. I don't meet many people. I think that's why.
You don't meet people?
Yeah, I'm very small circle, I get out very little. Yeah, so I don't meet many people. I'm always walking with my head down like that.
Well, I've met people, so I'm glad I've got this opportunity to tell you that people who absolutely loved Arjun Reddy across the world.
I'm so happy. Actually, cinema is one thing that keeps us close to our language. Like all the kids that grow up, you interact with your mother tongue a lot because of cinema. Hindi films keep you in touch. Hindi music keeps you in touch with Hindi, Telugu films, Telugu dialogue, Telugu music. Otherwise, on a work basis, we are conversing so much in English for practical reasons. So I think it's important. Cinema is very important. We need to encourage people watching cinema, growing cinema. And how do we now make sure we expand this kingdom of India? I know so many people across the world who learn Indian languages because they fell in love with cinema.
Right.
They learn Hindi because they fell in love with cinema. I know I've met so many fans from the north who learned Telugu because they fell in love with some cinema that I did or that they saw. So how do we, through cinema, expand the Indian kingdom softly? Not softly.
Well, masterfully put, Vijay, very, very cleverly put, that actually dates back to centuries about the origin about the English language and the impact that it had in the world. But that is truly an astute observation, I have to say. But how do we make that change? We have to pave the way, and I think everyone has to, like you said, come together and make that. And like when when Rajamouli sir's next film, already the world is anticipating it because he actually has created a global brand for himself. And more power to him, and there should be many more like that to follow. Like when we are producing a film called Ramayan on this massive scale, being produced by Dean Egg and Namit Malhotra, that film can be seen in 100 languages because it's the biggest story of India is Ramayan. And the way they have produced it, it should be seen by the world. And I think that these are not going to be any more baby steps. They're going to take giant leaps into global positioning of our cinema. And it's going to happen. It's happening in front of our eyes and as we speak. Every single day, I think the world is coming together. Kareena, if I had to ask you, what is the one Indian film across languages, if you had to introduce a global audience to that film, what would that one film that you would choose if you wanted to show a global audience an Indian film and say, this is us?
Oh God, that's a very tough one. But does it like any film or let's keep it
Not
like,
yours.
Why?
Everything is not about you. There are other movies beyond you that have also been beautiful.
No, of course there are. I said so many films.
I said any one film. She said, let's just say one of my movies, quintessential Bebo.
No, but I'm saying that because so that I can narrow it down. No?
Okay. One of your movies. Let me make it easier for you.
I think I would say Jab We Met.
Okay.
Because somewhere I feel it embodied the spirit of the young Indian girl, the young Punjabi girl, that every girl kind of has those, that spark in her, the dream in her eyes. Also the freedom to choose what she wanted. She had the right, to just feel love and just the way she was. I think it connected with everyone for a reason. So I'm sure it will connect with everyone
in the
on
world.
A global level.
Yeah, right. Vijay, if you had one film that you could introduce to the world.
You can say your own film also.
I can't think of an answer that I will be happy with myself. When I look back, I'll be like, what a dumb answer you gave. So, but I think it has to be a film. I would love it to be a film which has lots of music, because our music is great, which has, I feel, Indian textile and Indian fabric and Indian, so like a Sanjay Leela Bhansali kind of film, but then that's too much in just that space. So something with great music, great clothes, great food, amazing people, our culture and stuff. So I think...
So like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham.
Suddenly now your own film, huh?
You just described my movie. Oops, sorry.
Yeah. But I would like the world to watch lots of our films across genres, across
He's still
regions.
not agreeing it should be that film, by the way. Please
It's a
note.
very good film, Karan. Everyone loves you for that bunch of films.
I'm only kidding. I actually, if I had to say, it would be actually one of even the masters. Like, I would love for the world to see Kaagaz Ke Phool. I would love the world to see Pyasa. I would love the world to see those movies, because if you see Kaagaz Ke Phool, it resonates so deeply even today. It has an inherent pathos and such beauty. I would love the world to see Kaagaz Ke Phool. Like, I would date back to then, because I think it's breathing even today in cinema. Those were the masters, they were the greats, and I think we bow our heads down in reverence. But today has been exciting, because I think today we began a conversation that was integral, important in the ecosystem of our entertainment industry. And I think Waves, the endeavor of Waves, is really truly about how we can bring the world together. This first Waves has already been, as you can see, a mammoth success, with people flying in all across the world. So more power to Waves, and I'm so glad that we are at the first edition. And more power to the audiences that have actually flown in from across India and across the world to be a part of this very big baby step towards brilliance in cinema and media and entertainment. It was wonderful talking to you, Vijay Deverakonda, Kareena Kapoor Khan. Thank you so much. More power to both of you, both excellent artists, and may the force of cinema always be with you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.